Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Why I Need podcast. We are glad that you have joined us today. And we've got Kehinde Anifowose. So before we go too deep, I want you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like, share, and engage us in the comment section. Once again, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I clearly understand that. A lot of times, sometimes we are not motivated, but the discipline is what keeps us going. And I'm sorry to hear about your dad's passing. A lot of us can actually relate. Yeah, I'm so sorry and accept my condolence. Are you worried about artificial intelligence creeping into your industry, where you think it will help people to make, financial planning, financial decisions, it will help people suggest maybe stocks or financial products to invest in. Are you worried about that?
I'm not really very worried about it because I understand that there's only so much your AI and your robo advisors, because we have them out there, are doing. In the sense of, yes, you can go on ChatGPT and be like, hey, this is what I want to do. Give me a game plan to do it. Yes. But what happens when you actually have life happen? Like you have a financial obstacle that comes in, you're trying to make a decision. Do I buy this? Do I not buy this? A lot of times, most people seek that human opinion, someone that can actually understand it. But also, I'm not scared because I know I'm in this for the long run. Yes, you can start out with a robo advisor, but I know there's gonna become a time where you're so busy and your career is taking off and you actually need someone in person that you can trust and I can kind of guide you through this. Because even in the world of AI and ChatGPT, we still have credit card debt that's still at the super high, right? If AI was gonna fix that, we wouldn't have that problem now, right? Most people aren't saving for retirement, yes, but we have AI, right? And so it's kind of like, yes, it is. I believe AI can help, right? People get on that line, but to really stick to it long term, for most people, you want to work with an advisor and someone that can kind of guide you through that season.
Yeah, I understand it, but people would argue that some of these financial advisors they come with a hefty fees, and some of them charge as much as 25%. My friend that has a college 529 for his children, I think he said the financial advisor is well, the management company is charging him 25%. That's a lot of money. So it means that if you put $100, they take $25. So I think people would rather maybe go the route of ChatGPT. And in fact, when we talk about AI, it's not limited to ChatGPT. It's just the big umbrella is AI, but there is a whole lot of other products under the AI. So yeah, I would think, most people would rather deal with AI and save that 25% than, give it up 25%. And I'm just, you know, calling $100 conservatively because there are people that invest a whole lot of money. So that 25% is actually, a big money to them. So, um,
Yeah.
it looks like AI is changing most things. But for this particular one, I'm not really too savvy in this industry, so I wouldn't really predict. But I just wanted to hear, what you think about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I see, that side of the conversation. But I also think there are advisors out there that the fees are transparent, and you kind of know what you're getting into upfront. There are some side of the industry where you charge, excuse me, where you charge a percentage of the assets that you have with the advisor. There is a side of the industry where it's kind of like an upfront fee. And so they're different. It just depends on how your advisor charges. But if you wanted someone to advise you that the charge is not as much, it's pretty reasonable, you can definitely find them out there.
Yeah, and to even think that some of these money managers, they just put all this thing in autopilot. They just set it up autopilot, and autopilot takes care of it. So, which is almost similar to AI. They just set it up, and some of them don't even go back to look at it. Even when your investment is not performing, they don't even know it. Sometimes you really have to pick up your phone and call them and and check in with them. So to that effect, I would think that people will rather deal with AI and be in charge of their money. I don't have $1 in investment. I'm just saying, this is just me saying. um I know a lot of us have done things that we're not, really proud of. Is there any financial, mistake you've made that you would really like people to learn from? Like somebody coming from Nigeria, you really want to advise this person, please stay away from this, stay away from this. I did this and it didn't work. And I understand that we are different, so we'll achieve different results. But like, generally speaking, is there some financial mistakes that you have made that you would really like people to learn from?
Yeah, I would say the biggest one that I'm actually still dealing with and working through is credit card debt. Like I was not properly informed about getting credit card. The person that actually I got a secure credit card, my first credit card, but she just told me use this for gas, use this to buy gas. And I was like, okay, gas, cool. Well, I went out for dinner one day and I didn't really have enough money for the dinner, but I had my credit card with me. And then my friend was stranded. Well, I paid for myself and my friend. And I think that was one of the biggest purchases I made on the card. But me doing that and not learning from it just led to me doing that continuously. Any big purchase, I would just put it on the card and, deal with it later. And it kind of racked out to a point where I've almost kind of maxed out the card and I'm like, okay, how do I actually get out of this? And having to that sit down with myself and having that heart to heart conversation and be like, okay, we did not like the way we got here wasn't really tangible. Like all the things I bought, I can barely remember the things that I bought on the credit card. But, in college, I was like, okay, I have the credit card, might as well just use it. I saw it as money, right? Without seeing there's actually a debt. And kind of just working through that now, I would say be very careful when you decide to get credit cards. I teach people now, like if you don't have the money, credit card is not a solution. Just say you don't have the money and don't use the credit card. Or if you end up doing it, make sure you pay your balance off every month. Because if not, that's how the interest accrues, and it starts to choke you because you're like, okay, I didn't even spend this much. How is like half of my payments going to interest? And the half is going towards paying off the debt. So that was really a big financial mistake I made early on that I'm kind of reaping the effects now and kind of working through that scenario.
Yeah, I like that. I think almost everybody, our biggest mistake is a credit card. Once you get in, it's almost impossible to come out from it unless you are extremely disciplined. And these credit card companies, I think they have a way of talking to each other. You get one, and the next time, the other company is sending you credit card, and
Yeah,
they keep offering you, and then you thinking is American way of living, you just keep accepting it. So for anybody just
yeah,
coming from Nigeria or somebody that is here, you don't quite know a lot about this. I think you should be mindful about credit card. It's not really money, like Kehinde explained. Is an obligation. Is something that when you spend that you have to pay back. So it's not
yeah,
necessarily your money, but it's there for you to use if you need it. So, and just be wise about it.
All right. I'm so sorry about your dad's passing, but I'm sure you'll be proud of what you're doing right now. I'm sure you'll be proud of what your siblings are doing as well. And talking
yeah,
about vulnerability, I think we all learn from experience, right? We're all in one credit card debt or the other, especially when you just started making money and you're getting all these offers in the mail and oh, okay, free 20,000. I mean, free 2,000, free $3,000. And if you don't know about them or if you don't really learn and be responsible With that, it can pile up. A $2,000 balance can turn to $20,000 easily with
Yeah.
interest, and if you just struggling to pay the bare minimum, so yeah, it can be very, very, very bad. Credit cards are one of the highest interest rate products out there. You know, some of them about 25%, some about 30%.
Yep.
And it's important that, you know, if you want to get a head start in managing your money properly, you need to stay away from credit card. And one thing I also want to add to that is car loans, right? There's
Mm,
nothing bad against car loans, as long as you're able to afford it, right? Don't go get a $50,000 car note if you're not making enough money or if you don't have a stable job. And I know for some of the older adults as well, they love to get into new homes, and that can be very pricey as well. This a big investment that you'll be stuck with for a very long time.
yep.
If you don't have the financial capacity, try to stay away from them. Try to stay away from them. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, I appreciate you sharing that as well. So, how do you encourage people to invest their hard-earned money? How do you encourage people to do that? Because a lot of us, we have bills already. You know, we work, we have credit card bills, car loans, mortgages, and we're barely making ends meet. And many of us, we have to work two jobs to be able to at least have a little bit left at the end of each month. So, what would you say to people like that? How would you encourage people that don't have enough money to start prioritizing investing some of the money that they're making?
Yeah, I would say really it doesn't matter what has happened up until now. It matters what you do going forward. And so even if it's as little as $50 a month or $25 a month, actually setting it aside to invest is a great way to start. I know we all have this idea of waiting till I got it all figured out, waiting till I got it all paid off. But the reality of things is compound interest is just working against you the longer you wait, right? So just starting with something, listen, you probably have to trade something for what you want, right? You want to retire, right? Yeah, you want to accumulate money. Yeah, well, it's going to come with a trade-off. Maybe no eating out for, you eat out once a month versus three times a month and use that money to do that. Because the money is there. If we kind of come down to it, yes, you might have this bills, and major things that you're taking care of, but you probably still have that little $25 or, the $5 um what's the word I was gonna say Starbucks, but the $5 money you're spending on Starbucks every week, it adds up to be $20 and $25 in a month. But also the second thing I would say is making sure every dollar that comes into your account has a title pin to it, right? Because most times we're spending money and we don't even know how much is going in, how much is going out. We're just like, yeah, money's coming out of my account regularly. But if you could actually put, okay, this 50 cents coming out is going towards a fee, or this $5 coming out is going towards this. Once you have that, you actually see what it is. And I think a budget is a great way to start. We don't like to talk about budgets, but it's actually just allowing you to see where your money is going to, right? You're able to track whatever is going out and whatever is coming in. Because if you don't do that, you're just kind of just letting whatever happens to you happens to you. I remember, a time where I was always scared to check my bank account because I didn't know who took money out. Like, I'm like, I don't know who I sent to take money out of my account today. So I don't want to open it because I'm like, somebody probably took money out again. But I had to kind of sit down and be like, okay, let's consolidate this so I know what's going in and what's going out. And it brings so much confidence and peace, right? That's actually on the other side of that, taking that uncomfortable action. Right. So that would be what I would say is just encouraging them to start getting a budget, seeing where your money is going to, but be also willing to make that trade off.
Very good, very good. Yeah, budgeting is definitely very important. Yeah, I've been in that same shoe in the past. You know, overdraft fees. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Indiana members got me a couple of times for for
They did not
overdraft
play.
fees in the past. Yeah, they don't play, and that's one of the ways they make their money, right? They try to uh take advantage of people that don't have a lot of money. So
Yeah,
they charge them. And one thing I do know that if it's your first time in a new year, you can always get it back. You can give them a call and they can give it back to you. But if
it's
you're an
multiple times.
habitual, yeah, if it happened a bunch of times now, they're not gonna give it back to you. So budgeting is important. And now I still check my account multiple times a day. Just see, hey, what's coming in or who's taking money out of my account, right? So
Hmm.
budgeting is very, very, very important, especially if you're looking to build wealth, if you're looking to make plans for the future. And like you said, there's no little money that you can't put it in an investment account, right? Even if it's $50, even if it's $100, do something. Do something. And one thing I also want to add for people that have jobs with 401ks, make sure you sign up with your employer. Don't lose that free money, especially if they're matching whatever
Yeah.
amount you put it in. It's important that you get that match and you continue to put some money into it.
How easy is it to stay on budget? Because for some of us, we don't even know how to budget. For every Nigerian you see, for most people, most Nigerians you see here, they are living double life. So they have their life here and they have back home. So at the end of the day, we barely have enough. Some people will be like few paychecks away from being homeless, which means if they fire them or the income stop coming, they could end up being homeless. For people like that, they barely have enough, not to talk of investing. And how do you advise those people? And then how do you also talk to us, like me, I want a big house, 8,000 square feet, sitting on the 16 acres, maybe 22 bathrooms. How do you talk to me to cut down my expectation and then maybe start small and then grow big and then focus on the bigger picture, which is when I get older and I might not be able to walk again?
Yeah. I think I let me kind of share, I guess, three major perspective with that. And the first one being, at some point, you're gonna have to be real with yourself, right? I understand. I think, especially in the African community, we have a lot of, we can say, really pride. And we like to compare with other people and be as big as the next person beside me, right? But at the end of the day, that person is really not thinking about you. Like they're just thinking about themselves. And the sooner you come to reality of things, the really easier or better the outward thing can look at. So at some point, like you just have to gonna come to the reality of things and understand that if you're living a very inflated lifestyle that's not real, is it's probably exhausting, right? It's exhausting to have to keep up with everything knowing that this is actually not the truth. And so really just facing reality and just being like, okay, this is it, and this is not working anymore, and finding a way to work. But also speaking to the person that has these very big goals of buying a house, having all these acres, right? Your dreams are possible. Like you can actually achieve that. But in order to do that, we're gonna have to pay the price now, right? In life, our parents paid the price of coming to the US, right? Those of us that they brought here, they took a risk, like they didn't know if it was going to work out or not, but they were able to take that risk for the better future of things. And so, even when you have big goals, you want to pay the price now. If not, you're going to pay it later. Like, it's either you budget now and set your money aside now, or in the future, you just have to keep working. All right, you want to go back to Nigeria and spend your time there, but you don't have enough money to be there. So you have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Or even if it's your kids that you're waiting on, like I think in America, a lot of things that parents will start to realize is your kids have their own life. And I know that you expect them to take care of you and provide everything, but they also have their own lives, and you might not be the first priority when it comes to that. You might actually be maybe a last priority. And so if you don't actually start like putting things in order for yourself, it's just gonna come back and bite you, really. You either pay the price now or you pay the price later. Either of those things, the price still has to get paid. The price of, just consolidating now, living a huge life. Because even when you think about a lot of the celebrities that we see, a lot of them, they didn't just all of a sudden have money, right? A lot of them saved and kept money aside, deflated their lifestyle to have what they have right now. And that is really the reality of things. The price has to get paid, but also facing reality of things, and your dreams are actually possible if you're willing to pay the price to get there. So that would be my response. I hope that kind of covered everything you said.
Yeah, I mean, now I know I have to start making my coffee from home. I have to I have to eat more from home, eat less outside, and maybe sometimes instead of driving my car, maybe take a bicycle to work. Some of
This is Indiana.
some ways. Um, I kind of want to pick your brain. What do you think about college today? Do you think it's really worth it again? Because when we came here about 13 years ago, they said college is an equalizer. It's almost like a way to get to middle class. Today, a lot of us are going to school as we are graduating. They are now shifting the goalposts, saying, they are even like Walmart, a lot of major corporations, they are removing college as a requirement for most of their positions. And a lot of us have taken out student loans, on average, $30,000, $40,000. With the advent of AI, with the way Trump is going, though he will be out there in 3 years, and everything else around us. Do you really, honestly think that is worth, going to college again?
I think it's worth it if you actually know what you want to study in college. Like, you need to go to college to achieve it. Let's say, you want to be a doctor, or you want to be a lawyer, or you want to be a nurse. Well, you just have to go to college to do that. But like, if you don't know what you want to do and you want to go study, you know, um, a major that really is not money making,
Like
to
African
me,
studies?
I have a minor in Africana studies actually. I wouldn't
Okay.
say it's I wouldn't say it's not, with Africana studies, yes, you can go out, but like kind of the lifestyle that you want. Is that degree gonna give you the lifestyle you want? If not, to me, it's really not worth taking loans, in order to be in a position where it's not the job you want, you're doing it to please people, and you still gotta pay the loans. But if you actually need it to get there, yeah, sure, do it. But also, if you have an opportunity to go to college for free, I think it's a great opportunity to take the shot, because you do learn, even though you might probably never use what you learn in class, but that experience is something that stays with you throughout your lifetime and throughout that journey. So that would be, it's a yes and a no, just depending on where you fall in your category of things you want to do.
Yeah, I definitely agree that college is worth it, especially if you're going to a specialty field. Maybe you want to be a surgeon. If you're, going to college for something that is worth it, for a major that is worth it, that can make you a lot of money when you graduate. Yeah, college is definitely worth it. But if you're taking a $150,000 loan, if you're going to private school to study gender studies, study English language, and you probably end up teaching in high school, you're not gonna be able to justify um, the cost of the degree. So it's important that we make wise choice. It's important that we help our young people, help our teenagers make good decisions when it comes to going to college. College is not just only for fun. You're there to learn. You're there to get exposure to things that you're going to be dealing with when you get to the real world. So I think it's worth it. You make friends. Some people meet their life partners in college. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. But don't take too much money to go study any major that will not pay for the degree at the end of the day. So, any advice for people YOLOing? I know on Instagram, on TikTok, a lot of people talk about YOLO, you only live once, and it's a way for people to justify their habits. You know, they want to live now, they want to go on that expensive vacation that they can't afford, they want to use the buy now pay later apps to get those expensive shoes, expensive bags, and they're saying, "Hey, you only live once, right?" And I don't know if I'm going to live to 80. So what's the point of saving? What's the point of investing? Even when I know a lot of people are not going to make it to 80 or 70, and I'm just going to enjoy now and worry about it later. So what do you have to say to people like that?
I feel it's not a way to live long term in the sense of, so one thing that came to mind as you mentioned that was the Bible kind of talks about preparing, and if you only living once and just spending everything, you're not preparing, and life is gonna come at you fast. I think that's it. Like, you live once, yes, you do, but like life only happens once, and life is just gonna come at you fast. And how are you gonna handle that situation, right? That's how the living long, the feeling that comes with going on that expensive vacation of peace and everything. Well, it's not gonna last you a long time when life comes, right? It's gonna the peace that you have is gonna turn to worry and stress, and that can actually kill you a lot faster, right? Than whatever you did before. So that would be what I would say is, yes, you only live one, but life will come at you faster. If there's anything I've learned is anything can happen at whatever point. Your car could break down and you have to pay $6,000 to get it fixed. And if you didn't have anything saved, well, that's just another bill you have to pay. If you take out a loan for that, you take out a buy now, pay now later, they still want their money. Everybody's going to want their money. So whatever it was, feeling of peace that you had is going to come back to be worry later. So you can either decide to have peace now, worry later, or worry a little bit now and have that peace later. That would be what I would say. I think not a lot of people are there, but a lot of people are starting to see reality of things and be like, okay, I think there's a better way than what I'm currently doing right now.
What advice do you have for young Nigerians out there? Maybe they're trying to get out of high school or trying to chart a path for themselves as they go to the next level in life. So, what advice do you have for them, young Nigerians in America?
Yeah, I would say the advice I have for them is finding mentorship. We're talking about money, but like at the end of the day, I feel like mentorship and having the right guidance can actually take you a lot further in life. So even as you're graduating high school, find that person that has been to where you want to go. And kind of seek mentorship from them, seek guidance for them. That's what a lot of older people like that kind of got them to where they are now, having a mentorship of someone that has done it before, and that can help you. So don't try to do it all alone, right? Seeking mentorship and guidance, but also having a strategy to whatever you want to do.
It's definitely important. Mentorship is very important. It can pave way for you. It can open doors for you. People getting jobs these days, they're probably using their connections from their mentors, connections from people they've worked with in the past, or family and friends. So it's important that you find a mentor that you have the same vision with, or that can walk you through the life process.
So thank you
Yeah.
for honoring this invitation. We'll keep coming back to you. Don't get tired of us.
Thank you so much for having me at Def.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to grace this invitation. So for people looking to get a hold of you to learn more about what you do, how can they get a hold of you? Are you on Instagram? Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, so I would say Instagram is the fastest way to get a hold of me. So my handle is Bomi, as BOMI underscore ANI. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me. I am on TikTok, but I don't post a lot on there. I'm just on there to be a consumer, not a creator. I will be, soon, but Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us. And for everyone out there, join us in the comment section. Let us hear your opinion on that discussion today. And if you have any questions, if you need any investment advice, or you're looking to add to your investment portfolio, reach out to Kehinde Anifowose. She's on Instagram, Bomi underscore Annie. We'll love to hear what you think. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And thank you for joining us. And have a wonderful day.